Today I am inside a very particular place in the city of Geneva. At first glance, it may seem like just another shop, but if we look a little closer, we discover something far more interesting. Here you can find clothes, books, furniture, plates, household appliances, bicycles, and objects both old and modern all gathered in the same space. Yet everything here shares one thing in common: nothing here is completely new. Welcome to Renfile, one of the most well-known second-hand shops in Geneva. But this shop did not begin as an ordinary business. Its story starts in 1963, when the Centre Social Protestant de Genève decided to open a second-hand shop with a very clear idea: to help people going through financial difficulties while also giving a second life to thousands of objects that were still perfectly useful. The idea was simple, yet powerful. Many people had furniture, clothes, and household items at home that they no longer used. Instead of throwing them away, they could donate them. These objects were checked, cleaned, and then placed back on sale at affordable prices. That is how Renfile was born. A place where objects are given a second life, but also where many people find a second opportunity. Because the money generated here does not only keep the shop running, it also helps finance social programs, legal advice, support for families in difficulty, and integration projects for people who need assistance. In other words, when someone buys something here, they are not only purchasing an object, they are also supporting a social cause. But there is another very interesting aspect behind places like this. Renfile is also part of what we now call the circular economy. Instead of constantly producing new objects and creating more waste, the idea is to reuse what already exists. Repair it, reuse it, give it another life. This reduces waste, protects the environment, and reminds us that many things can remain useful long after they were first bought. When you walk through this shop, you notice something quite surprising. Many of the objects here look almost brand new. Some were used only a few times. Others simply became unnecessary for someone. But here, they find a new home. And this leads us to a deeper reflection. In many countries around the world, buying second-hand items is still seen negatively. Some people even consider it humiliating. Yet in Switzerland, the situation is quite different. Buying second-hand items is often seen as a smart decision. It is a way of consuming responsibly, protecting the environment, and supporting social projects at the same time. And then an inevitable question appears. Could something like this exist in Venezuela? The answer is yes. Venezuela is a country rich in resources, culture, and talented people. But for something like this to truly work, sometimes a deeper change is required, a change in mentality. In many societies, there is constant pressure to appear successful, to buy everything new, and to demonstrate status through brands. However, places like this remind us that the real value of an object does not lie in whether it is new or expensive. Its true value lies in whether it can still be useful. Walking through a place like this also invites a deeper philosophical reflection. We live in a time when we often believe that the value of things lies in their novelty, in their brand, or in the price we pay for them. But places like Renfile remind us of something very different. The value of an object is not in its novelty, but in its usefulness. A plate that once served one family can still serve another. A book that someone has already read may change another person's life. A piece of furniture that someone no longer needs may become part of another home. Perhaps the true wealth of a society is not measured by how much it consumes, but by how wisely it uses what it already has. And perhaps that is why ancient philosophers once reminded us of something very simple. Things do not possess value by themselves, value comes from the use we give them. Here, among all these objects, each one seems to carry a story. And every purchase allows that story to continue. Perhaps that is the real message of this place. That even something that seems old may still have a new life ahead.